Can I get the audience to turn to the camera and state your first name, starting with you?
My name's Ann.
Kenny.
Chanel. Samantha.
Tessa.
Megan.
And I'm Myra. We're going to play a little fact or myth. Fact or myth. If you go and vote on election day, you will be selected for jury duty. Fact or myth?
Myth.
Yeah.
It's sort of both. Anytime you buy a house, get your driver's license, register to vote, your name is added to the list for jury duty. Fact or myth? Ex-cons can't vote. Fact or myth?
Fact.
That is a myth. Only if you are a convicted felon, you cannot vote. Fact or myth? Election day is always held on Tuesdays.
Fact.
Yes, it is a fact. It is actually the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. Back in 1845, Congress had to pick a day for voting, for elections. It couldn't be November 1st because that was a religious holiday, and Sunday was always reserved for church. So it couldn't be Monday. They couldn't have elections on Monday because it took at least one day to get to the county seat because they didn't have vehicles back then. All they had were horseback riding and horse and buggy. So it'd actually take them one day to get there. They would leave on Monday, get there on Tuesday, spend that day voting, and then return home on Wednesday. So that is why we vote on Tuesday. Why am I here? I'm not here to persuade you who to vote for or to vote. I'm here specifically to inform you on voting. We're going to go over the eligibility requirements. We're going to learn how to register to vote, and I'm going to let you know the 3 ways that you can cast your ballot or vote. So first is eligibility requirements. You must register to vote at least 29 days before Election Day. You must be a citizen of the United States. You must be 18 years old. You must be a resident of Florida if you plan to vote in Florida. You cannot be mentally incapacitated, and you may not be a convicted felon. So those are your eligibility requirements for registering to vote or to vote. Next, we're going to talk about registering to vote. How do you do it? Well, you simply fill out a voter registration form, you sign it, mail it, or drop it off at your supervisor of elections office. Where do you get this form? Well, I got my form at my school. They were handing them out. Or you can simply go online, download it, fill it out, mail it in, or drop it off at your supervisor of elections office. You may go to your county or city library. You can go to the DMV and fill out the forms there and register right there in person. This is what a form looks like. This is an example, and I will pass it around after I'm finished. Make sure you sign it and date it, of course. And keep in mind your signature needs to stay the same on the registration form, when you get your card, and when you fill out your electoral ballot. You want to always make sure that your signature is the same. After you fill out the information on the registration and send it in, about 4 weeks later, you should receive your information card. It looks something like this, but it will be a little smaller. If you don't receive it within 4 weeks, you want to get a hold of the supervisor of elections office and find out why. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the 3 ways you can cast your vote. There's vote by mail, there's early voting, and there's election day voting. Vote by mail is exactly what it states. You can vote by mail, and anybody who is registered to vote can do this. It is formally known as absentee voting. You basically contact the supervisor of elections office by phone, fax, email, or in person and request your ballot. They will send it to you by mail. You simply fill it out in the comfort of your own home. It is the most convenient way. When you're finished, you want to put it sign it, of course, make sure it's complete, sign it and put it in your prepaid postage envelope that they give you and mail it in, and it needs to be received by Election Day, 7 p.m. Then there's early voting, which is exactly what that means, early voting. You can go to any precinct that you wish. On Election Day voting, that is the one that day that you have to go to your specific precinct. You cannot go to any precinct that you want. Why? Because that day there are so many people voting that there is not enough time. They have your ballot pre-printed, already printed out for you. So those are the ways that you can vote. The 3 ways to vote are vote by mail, early voting, and Election Day voting. Today, I hope we've learned how to vote. I hope I've informed you on how to register. I hope that I've given you the eligibility requirements and the 3 ways to vote. Thank you.
5 minutes.
6:15. I didn't even get